Hey everybody, I'm here with Mark from Into the Soup, surf band from my town, Philadelphia. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing good, Ryan. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it highly.
It's wonderful to have a local band, especially a local surf band on the show. I know you have other projects you're working on, but how did you start Into the Soup?
Okay. Um, First and foremost, I think I want to make it clear that I consider myself a songwriter. So I write in different genres of basically a pop music. And one evening I was having dinner with one of my best buddies, and he's a tremendous guitar player who's played on a lot of my music throughout the years. His name is Tony Diodano. And he sat there and he said, "Have you ever thought about writing a surf song?" And I knew he was a big fan of the Ventures. Both he and my brother are huge fans of the Ventures and collect all the Venture CDs and all that kind of thing. And to be honest with you, I never had thought of writing a surf song at that point. But I went home and I started fiddling, and the next thing you know, I couldn't stop writing surf songs. So out came about 6 songs. Actually, there were more than that, but we had other projects to consider, so we stopped at 6. And that's how Surf Six got created, through the inspiration of him asking me to write a surf song. And that's how it came about. And I named that, I call them older egos. I named that band Into the Soup. So everything that will ever come out labeled Into the Soup will be surf music.
Awesome, awesome. Um, I'd like to let you know I found your band, funny enough, through Hunter King's Storm Surge and Reverb.
Right, we got some play on there. Yep.
Yeah, he put out a list of all the releases from 2022, and you were out there. So I checked out your music, and I was really happy to have you on. And
Great.
what are your plans going forward? Are you concentrating on something else now? Are you working on new music for Into the Soup?
Well, we do plan to release another Into the Soup single later this summer. But right now, I'm working on several other projects. One of them is an instrumental song, but it's not a surf song. It's more of like a pop rock instrumental. And the other projects are more just what I call retro pop. I grew up in the 60s and the 70s and early 80s. That's where most of my musical background took place. So a lot of the stuff I write has influences of that in it. And we're working on finishing up a remix of a song called They Don't Know You that we're going to put out on all the streaming services. So that's what we're working on at the moment. But we will get back to Into the Soup.
So you have a full band for Into the Soup, correct?
No, actually, I'm playing everything. We humorously created characters for the band, and if you go and you see the pictures, they're all me dressed up in various costumes. So we got a kick out of that. My better half, Carolyn, took the pictures on that. In fact, she did the artwork for Into the Soup. That here's the I'm going to hold that up in front of the camera. That's
Nice.
the EP artwork that she,
Yeah.
very talented artist. She also did, we have individual art pieces for each song. And on Camel Soup, we got her to create an actual soup can with,
Wow.
yeah, and that camel has kind of become the icon of Into the Soup. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Wow. So when I listen, your guitars are very clean. So you use the most right.
I use
Um,
the Mo's right for most of the lead parts, except on Seabreeze Serenade. That was done on a Fender Duosonic. The other instruments, I use a reissue Jazzmaster, the 64 model Jazzmaster. That was all the rhythm parts. And anytime you heard the whammy bar go off, that was the Jazzmaster. And then I use a Mustang Fender bass for all the bass parts.
Wow, I haven't heard about one of those in a long time.
Yeah, yeah. So I play everything. My partner, Leo Valentino, he's my production partner. He recorded everything. He's the recording engineer. And we both work on the drums together. Now we're using drum software, but we spend a lot of time on the drums, tempo mapping, and doing all kinds of stuff to get that to sound as realistic as possible. In fact, if you listen to something like Surfing with Winkle, that whole retardando at the end there, the drums slowing down, we worked a long time on that to get that to sound right. And so I could play to it and make it sound as real as possible. So there's a lot of time spent on this stuff.
Speaking of time, you released it last year, but how long did the process take from start to finish?
Actually, I think it took over a year for us to actually get it all together because it's put on layer by layer and then it's mixed, mastered, and then usually we wait a while and then we decide, okay, we hear some things we want to change, and finally we got it where we wanted it, and then we released it on Bandcamp and it went out to all the major streaming services, which it's on now, Spotify, Pandora, and all the rest. Yep.
Excellent. So what I suggest for everybody is to check the link to Into the Soups EP in the description. There's a link right to it. You can go sample their music and hopefully support the band by purchasing the EP. Underneath that, you'll see a link for Pyrex merch and tons of surf music resources. Mark, I want to thank you so much for your time early on a Saturday, and I wish you luck in the new Into the Soup single, and getting a full band together, and maybe I can come down and see you guys play.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me, Ryan. You take care now.